Good morning, gardening friends. Welcome back to Vicky's temporary garden. I'm over at the rental house today and just want to show you what's going on. All right. So in my last video, I had planted some of these shrubs. Oh my goodness, I already forgot what they're called. I'll stick the name up there. They get like a bottle brush white flower, and I think they're Itea maybe. Anyway, this one that I'm looking at right here looks the best out of all of them. After I planted them, quite a bit of it died like this, and we did have a pretty strong heat wave right after I planted these, but I was watering them like almost daily. And I think what might have happened actually is a couple days after I planted these, there was a person who came by and sprayed the lawn for like weeds and stuff, and I guess that's just something that the owner of this property has set up. And I didn't see them spray my bushes, but I'm just suspicious the fact that they took such a quick downturn right after I planted them, and I was watering them like I said, so I'm not sure why most of them look so terrible. But I'm hoping they're going to pull through. I've just been kind of watering them and babying them along. Temperatures have cooled down now, so it should be a little bit easier for them to continue trying to get established. Other than that, you can see that this plant here is blooming, which wasn't blooming before. I'm fairly certain this is a type of geranium. I'm just not an expert. So if any of you guys know, this looks similar to my geranium at the other house called Ballerina. It's like a smaller type. So I don't know, maybe that's what that is. These sedums are filling out beautifully. Remember I showed you these last time? They're quite a bit fuller now, and like I said before in the last video, I think that the maintenance person or the lawn person was like just weed whacking them down, because they're just starting to look really good. And the only thing that I've done is just been watering enough to kind of keep these shrubs going. Other than that, I haven't really done anything different here. So yeah, they're filling out nicely. I don't love any of this grassy and like iris stuff here in the front. I think I'm going to try to transplant that stuff elsewhere in this property. But when I first initially planted these shrubs, like I mentioned in the last video, the ground was so incredibly hard. I was literally using a, I guess it's like a pickaxe. There's this YouTuber that I like to watch from Ireland. His name is John Lords, and he carries around this pickaxe looking thing, because I guess they have a lot of hard rocky ground over there. Anyway, after I first tried planting these, it was so difficult with my regular shovel that I went to the garden center and I bought one of those. And that's actually how I was able to break through this dirt to put in these shrubs. So that's how tough the dirt was, and I did not feel like trying to dig any of this stuff out. But as I mentioned before, I put a ton of compost down, cow manure, and hopefully the ground is getting softer between me watering it regularly and having that compost in there and the worms working in it and stuff. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to move this stuff, maybe like in another month toward fall, and then I'll just find somewhere else to put it where it looks better. All of this plant right here, which I think is Lily of the Valley, it's pretty ugly. I might just cut it back, but I'm sure it'll come back next spring. It's obviously very established in here, so that's fine, whatever. I've got some creeping thyme over here that I got on discount, but I want to get all of these planted, so that's going to be like 6, 12, 18 plugs, and I'm planning on just planting that in here as a ground cover to go in between all of this. So I'm going to take out all of this other random stuff and put the creeping thyme in there, and I think that'll look a lot better. Now, what's really bugging me about this is this back wall that has so many weeds and stuff growing out of it. And I don't really know what solution there is aside from like spraying or just continually pulling it and cutting it out and stuff like that, which is pretty aggravating. I don't like to use chemicals. So I haven't really done anything about that or decided what I'm going to do about that yet, but I do need to do something about that. All right, let's see what else. I moved one of my containers over from the other house because it was getting super dried out, and with it being black, it was getting very hot, and I just really needed to be able to water it. So I brought it over here, cut everything back, and it is now starting to rebloom and looking really good. And it's just happy now that I can finally give it regular watering. This little plant right here, I think it's called Nana or something. Where'd that tag go? Potentilla Nana. Anyway, it was hanging down about 2 or 3 feet when I first bought this. It was super cute. So I had cut it back because it was all dried out and dead. But it's growing back again. I really like that container planting. Although I wish I had gone with flowers that were a little different from each other. So this one has this variegated leaf and a yellow flower. And then we also have the coreopsis with the yellow flower. But still, it's really cute. Over here, my mom's wind chime blowing in the wind there. So this is where I had planted Calibrachoa, I think is what they're called. None of them are blooming right now, unfortunately. Hopefully they're just like in a lull. The potato vine is doing pretty well. And I added some Dichondra Silver Falls that I just recently found on discount. So I've got some here and here. And hopefully there's enough time still this season for it to grow over and look pretty, but I always like to add silver to all of my beds. I just love that as an accent color, and I think it looks really good with the chartreusey color. So I just like to mix all those greens together. I brought some of my other like potted plants and stuff that were over at the other house that I'm just keeping them outside until it gets too cold. Okay, this sea green juniper, I bought this, it was half off at Lowe's, and I was planning to put that, show you this corner over here. I was planning to put it right here in this corner. The problem is this corner does not get direct sunlight, and that's really a full sun plant. So I need to rethink that. Maybe what I should put there instead is like an oak leaf hydrangea or a limelight hydrangea or something that will get like big but doesn't require a ton of sun. You'll see when the sun gets brighter, it actually stops about right here. So there's about a 6 foot by probably 5 foot square kind of against the house in that corner that just doesn't get direct light. It gets some light, but not direct sunlight. And so I really shouldn't plant something that's full sun there. It's just not going to do well. Oh, this little bed. I got a bunch of blanket flower, I believe it's called, on discounts. So I had to cut a lot of the like the blooms were already spent, so I cut a lot of these off, but we do have new ones coming. And then also what I did was I took all of the little spent seeds and I spread them throughout this bed, so hopefully next year they get a like a big full bank of the blanket flower. I think that'd be really pretty. I also got 3 the orange butterfly weed were on discount, so I got 1, 2, and 3. And then there's also 2 of the peach sky yarrow right here. And I'm betting that this may not even bloom this year. I cut back a bunch of dead off of that. It was on clearance. But nonetheless, it'll be really pretty next year. So I didn't really intend for it to be this way, but maybe it's just the time of year that I'm shopping. All of the plants that I've ended up buying so far have been like yellow and orange and that sort of thing, which is not something I usually do. This still looks really bad. I need to get in here, and I'm just deciding, should I wait until like September? What I want to do is just cut all of this back basically to the ground, dig it up and split it and kind of separate it so that we can use it in different areas and just make it a bigger impact and give it more breathing space and get a bunch of that dead foliage cleaned out and all of that stuff. I just haven't felt like dealing with that, and I'm trying to decide if it would be better to wait, like do it in September when the weather's a little bit cooler, or should I even just wait until late winter, say like March timeframe. Same with this one over here. Like I could definitely come in and cut out a bunch of that dead foliage around the bottom. I'm sure that would be good for it to just get rid of a bunch of that. But this is, in my opinion, too crowded. It needs to be broken apart and split up. So anyway, I have this now and I don't know what to do with it. I'm kind of leery on overwintering things because I'm just afraid I won't take care of it if it's in the garage or something and I'll kill it. I want this, if I don't use this here, then I'm going to plan on using it at my other house. But that won't be for like another 9 months to a year. Here's just some more houseplants and also some of the stuff I had potted over there that was starting to die because it wasn't getting enough rain and I didn't have any running water at the other house. So like this right here, these are 2 roses. I don't know which one is which. One of them should be, I think it's Lincoln Climbing Rose, maybe. And the other one, I don't remember. I'm so terrible about not labeling things, and then I don't remember what I have. And then this grass right here was almost dead, but there is still some live grass in there. So I thought maybe I'll just plant that somewhere out here and just donate this grass to this property. It's really pretty when it grows. It's called Foxtrot Pennisetum. And it will get about 5 feet tall and wide and get these really pretty heads on them. There's also a rose over here that's already at this property. I need to cut down this, whatever that tree weed is. That out of the way. But right here is a rose of some sort. So I'm curious to see if that blooms for me before winter. It should. This is between 2 houses, but that's facing west. And so this area gets some decent hot afternoon sun for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours as it's going up and over and before it completely hides behind that house. I even thought about maybe digging up that rose and moving it to a better spot because I'm not sure that's getting quite enough sun where it is. But this, I definitely gotta cut down that, whatever that is. Same thing I have at my other house. Does anybody know what this plant is? Because I get a lot of this popping up at my other house too, and it's super annoying. Same as this. Is this different? I don't know. Just seems to be like this woody weed that I always find annoying to deal with. There's another one right there. So I should figure out what that is. I still haven't cut down these peonies. And I still haven't sprayed them with water either. The hose that's at this property is not very long. I do intend to get a longer one, but since it's not very long, I haven't done anything to this backyard aside from just mow the grass one time. So there's nothing really new to show over here. I haven't planted anything, but I will get these cut down soon, and I will cut down some of these weedy, whatever these tree shrub things are that are growing up. And I'm probably going to move that rose to the front somewhere where it's getting more sun. And yeah, that's how things are looking for now. I just did a really long video at the other house, so hopefully you guys get a chance to check that out. And if I get anything new and start planting anything new at this property, I will give you an update. All right, thanks for stopping by. Talk to you later.